Good morning and welcome to the Hawaii State Senate Committee on Commerce and Consumer Protection. We are here for our Friday, March 1st, 2024, 9 a.m. hearing in Conference Room 229 to consider 18 nominees for different boards and commissions in state government. So good morning and welcome. This is a live stream hearing that is available on YouTube. Because we have a number of testifiers and a whole range of nominees today, we are asking that individuals who have come to testify, whether online or in the room, please limit your remarks to 1 minute so that we can move forward expeditiously. If we have not received your or if I didn't call you, it doesn't necessarily mean we haven't received your testimony. We can note it, but we also have our clerk here to ensure that you are mentioned on the record. Let me see. Yeah, and that's it. So we'll begin with our first nominee, Governor's Message 506, for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Massage Therapy. Nominee Sean St. Louis for his term to expire on June 30th, 2027. First up, we have the Board of Massage Therapy in support.
Morning, Chair. Received the Executive Officer for the Board of Massage Therapy and stand on behalf of the testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Doi, for standing on your testimony. We also have Peggy Brisbane and Lynn Wood in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify on this measure? Okay. Do we have the nominee here? Okay. Would you like to make a statement? You don't have to.
Thank you for your consideration, and I hope to be accepted, and I look forward to serving you with this.
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us today. Any questions? Okay, we'll move on to our next nominee. Also to the Board of Massage Therapy, nominee Shannon Skoog for a term to expire June 30, 2027. Board of Massage Therapy in support.
Stand on written testimony in support.
Thank you for standing on your testimony. We also have Massage Envy Hawai'i in support. We have Jasmine Lane, Kalanakai Strolin, Jeriel Quaresma, Kanoilani Wu, and Delaney Bernauer, all in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have the nominee online?
She's present on Zoom, Chair.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I'm excited and honored to be a part of serving this industry and be a part of the Massage Hawaii board, from our schools to our future industry, our current licensed massage therapist, and the business of massage on island to help people feel their best. Massage is an integral part of everyone's well-being, and I'm proud to be a part of it here in Hawaii. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions for the nominee or anybody else? Okay, then we'll move to the next nominee. Thank you for being present for the hearing.
Thank you.
Next, we have Governor's Message 508 for confirmation to the Board of Physical Therapy, Cynthia Tamayo for a term to expire on June 30, 2027. Board of Physical Therapy in support. Do we have Rochelle Araki?
The board will stand on its written testimony in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Rochelle Araki, the Executive Officer for the Board of Physical Therapy. The board stands on its written testimony in support. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you very much. We also have written testimony from Joanne Zazera in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have the nominee?
She's present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Tamayo. You can proceed with a statement if you'd like to make one. Hello, Ms. Tamayo, can you hear us? Yeah, I think we're on mute. Ms. Tamayo, if you can hear us, you can make a statement if you'd like. Yeah, I don't think she can hear us, but we're not gonna hold it against her. I guess, Natasha, if we can get a hold of her and she would like to speak, then we can take her out of order. But otherwise,
Okay.
is there anyone else who would like to testify? Members, any questions? Okay, then we'll proceed on. Governor's Message 509 is Benjamin Moskowitz to the Board of Private Detectives and Guards for a term to expire June 30, 2027. We have the Rhonda Roldan from the Board of Private Guards and Detectives in support. Okay, we also have the Office of the Mayor in support. Councilmember Sue Lee Loy in support, Victor Ramos in support, Reed Mahuna, and Dakota Friends all in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have the nominee here, Mr. Moskowitz? Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity to appear remotely and for the opportunity to serve on the Board of Private Detectives and Guards. I look forward to serving the industry as best as I can.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions? Okay, then we will move on. Thank you for making yourself available. Governor's Message 510 is Jonathan Lucas for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Professional Engineers, Architects, Surveyors, and Landscape Architects for a term to expire June 30, 2027. Sheena Choi in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Sheena Choi, Executive Officer of the Board of Professional Engineers, Architects, Surveyors, and Landscape Architects. The board stands on its written testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also have written testimony in support from Palmer Hafdal. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have Mr. Lucas? Go ahead. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to serving and doing the best I can. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions?
Oh, yeah, some great projects.
Okay, then we will move on. Thank you very much again for making yourself available. Next, we'll move to GM 511. Terrence Aratani to the State Board of Nursing, term to expire June 30, 2024.
Good morning, Alexander Pang, Executive Officer for the Board of Nursing. The board stands on its written testimony and support.
Thank you very much. We also have written testimony in support from the Hawaii Primary Care Association, Nancy Lynn Bernal, Zachary Johnson, and Don Carisu. Is there anyone else who would like to testify on Mr. Aratani's nomination? Is Mr. Aratani available? Do we have him?
I don't believe he's here today.
Okay, members, any questions? All right, we'll move on. Do we have Ms. Tamayo? Can you hear us?
I can now, thank you.
Okay, if you'd like to make a
After all
statement,
these
please go
years.
ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time this morning. Sorry, sometimes technology just doesn't work the way we like. But thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you guys. I have been lucky enough to practice in the field of physical therapy for over 2/3 of my life. It's a long time. During this time, I've had the opportunity to enter the lives of thousands of members of my community that I serve. I've provided care to babies under the age of 1 and all the way up through kupuna over the age of 100. And sometimes it's at the worst time in their lives. In each of these interactions, I'm able to influence their recovery or enhance their development. But I also took something away from each one of those interactions, and I'm very grateful for that. For over 25 years of my career, I used my knowledge and skills in leadership roles, both within clinical departments, and I've served on the Hawaii chapter of the APTA as the ethics chair, along with a couple terms on the State Board of Physical Therapy. Through these roles, I work to ensure that my staff and the community of therapists work at the highest level of their license and to protect the community through regulation of our practice. My goal is to continue my work alongside my peers, one of which is here today, to ensure our profession is raised to the highest standard that our community deserves. And I believe with my experience and passion for service, I'm a good fit for the position on the board. And therefore, I ask for you to approve my reappointment to the State Board of Physical Therapy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for making yourself available.
Yeah.
Any questions for the nominee? All right, well then we will move on to GM 512, which is Bradley Cool, to the State Board of Nursing for a term to expire June 30, 2027. Mr. Pang, in support.
Yes, everyone. We support the appointment of Mr. Cool to the board. With apologies, I believe that the testimony for a different GM was accidentally uploaded for Mr. Cool, but I have a written copy of our written testimony for him. I can provide it to you or to your firm.
Yes, if you can do that after the hearing, thank you. Okay, we have Hawaii American Nurses Association in support. Oh, these are all written comments in support from Linda Beechanor, in support from the Hawaii State Center for Nursing, Optimum Health and Wellness Hawaii in support, and Alan Novak and Wailua Brandman also in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have the nominee?
Yes, right here.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Chair. I look forward to being part of the Board of Nursing. I've been a community member for several years as I've watched the work of the Board of Nursing, and I'm very proud to serve. That's it.
Thank you very much.
I'm
Any
available for
questions?
Yeah, I'll have a quick question.
Senator Richards.
Don't mean to put you on the spot, but since you're here.
Yeah.
Our licensing of the nursing profession needs to be sped up. What's your opinion of that?
When our nurses do supply their application in complete order and there are no deficiencies in that, I believe our average time is probably in line with many states here in the country. I do believe we are able to process within 6 weeks of a completed application. It is when there are deficiencies or when there are issues with licenses from other jurisdictions where those issues may arise. So I think that the Board of Nursing is doing their best to process those applications in a timely fashion.
Hi, Chelsea Fukunaga on behalf of the Board of Nursing. So the current processing time for most applications is 20 days currently.
Okay.
Okay, start to finish?
Start to finish.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I heard a story about a nursing student that graduated, was tangled, went to the mainland, got licensed, and then became an agency nurse and came back and worked in the job that she would have been hired for at a substantially higher rate. So I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. We'll move to Governor's Message 513, Sherry Shields Hansen, also to the State Board of Nursing for a term to expire June 30, 2024. Mr. Brown.
The board stands on its written testimony in support.
Thank you. We also have written testimony in support from Kate Plyler. And do we have the nominee? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to serve on the Board of Nursing. I have been a nurse for almost 40 years and in nursing education for 32 years. So my varied service to nursing, if you will, to the public, makes me an excellent candidate for this position. You know, I've worked in also in business, in nursing resources, and I'm proud to serve the state of Hawaii and the public of Hawaii to enhance safety in healthcare and safety and evidence-based nursing. So I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you again for making yourself available. Next up is Governor's Message 515, Isabella Gary, for consideration to the State Board of Public Accountancy, term to expire June 30, 2027. Hector West to the Board of Public Accountancy in support.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. My name is Hector West. I'm the Executive Officer for the Board of Accountancy, and the board stands on the written testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much for standing on your testimony. We also have written testimony from the Hawaii Primary Care Association in support, and Terrence Artani in support. Do we have the nominee?
She's present on Zoom, Chair.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Thank you all for the opportunity to serve as the public member on the Board of Public Accountancy. I'm really excited.
Thank you for stepping forward to serve. Members, any questions? Okay, thank you very much for making yourself available.
Thank you for your time.
We'll move on to GM 516, Wendell Lee, also to the Board of Public Accountancy, term to expire June 30, 2027. 516, Mr. West, in support.
The board stands on its written testimony.
Thank you very much. We also have, sorry? Oh, okay. I would like to note, I'd like to read out the individuals who submitted testimony in support for nominations like this. This individual has 35 people who submitted testimony in support. So why don't we just have him come up?
So many people.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Wendell Lee. I'm very honored to have been nominated and want to bring my experience as an educator and as a practicing CPA to the board to advance our industry. So I'm here for.
I'd like to note there were actually two individuals who also submitted testimony with comments.
Sure.
But they checked the wrong box. They're in support to you. And
oh, you got me nervous there, boy.
Any questions?
I have.
Vice Chair.
In recent years, there's been a lot of discussion within the industry and I think in the community about the difficulty of finding areas of specialization that our local CPA firms as well as others are going to be able to utilize. Yes. And so with your background, I hope that you may have some solid experience and recommendations to help us address some of those kinds of issues because it's increasingly a global economy, even though our businesses are located here.
Yes.
It's not as simple and straightforward as it was in the past.
The pipeline of accountants have decreased tremendously, and every business needs one. Our state relies on accountants, so does government. And so as an educator at UH West Oahu, we have the largest accounting program. Mm-hmm. We have the most accounting students. There are issues of credentialing that prevents many students rather, of socioeconomic status not getting into the profession due to credentialing. And that's what I'm here for. We need to change that. We need to allow our local kids from the West Side the opportunity to become CPAs. And we have to open up that channel so they have an opportunity. And that's why I want to serve.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Chair.
Senator Richards.
Yeah, I think it was last year we were discussing about allowing outside the state CPAs coming in. I'm not going to press you for an answer because that's not fair. But I appreciate your desire to help build the pipeline within the state because this is something we talk about. We want our next generation to stay home.
Yes.
But then we don't give them a way to stay home. And so, I would ask that you think about how we fill the gap between now and then as we build our pipeline, because I agree with you, without you guys, business is going to struggle and we're going to have a lot more problems. And I don't know what the answer is, but I'm glad you're willing to serve, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions, members? Okay, thank you for making yourself available. Okay, Governor's Message 517 is next, which is Robert Kawahara, also to the State Board of Public Accountancy, for a term to expire June 30, 2027. First, we have Mr. West in support.
We stand for written testimony.
Thank you very much. Also submitting written testimony in support, we have Maui County Federal Credit Union, Island Plastic Bags, HSCPA Board of Directors, the Hawaii Society of CPAs, Garrett Marrero of Maui Brewery Company, Daryl Nita, Ron Heller, Craig Watanabe, Terry Fujii, Michael Tanaka, and Leslie Wilkins. Again, all in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, Mr. Kawahara. Good morning.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you and the committee. I just look forward to supporting or giving my talent to the community. Just the previous testifier, Mr. Lee, is basically a rock star and a legend in our industry. So I'll be glad to serve on the board with him if I'm given that opportunity.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Okay, thank you for making yourself available.
Thank you.
We will move to the next, GM 519, John Speed, to the Pest Control Board, term to expire June 30, 2027. First, we have Leona Green from the Pest Control Board in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Leona Green. I'm the Executive Officer of the Pest Control Board. The board stands on its testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hawaii Pest Control Association in support. Good morning.
Very briefly. Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. I'm Tim Lyons with the Hawaii Pest Control Association. And I just want to point out that this would be Mr. Speed's second term on the board. And so, thus far, he's been very dedicated towards the issues and in trying to achieve a balance. So we would appreciate your advice and consent.
Thank you very much. That's all the testimony we've received. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, Mr. Speed.
Thank you for having me. And I've been a pest control operator for about 21 years now, and we have about 90 employees now. And so it's more on the training side and helping to get people certified and that sort of thing. And so it's been my pleasure to serve on the board, and I'm just glad they want me back for another few years. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah,
Senator Richards.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of conversations around pesticides. And I like the comments about trying to find a way forward and finding common ground, because the expectation that we're going to be able to accomplish things without tools in the tool belt bothers me, because we're not. And so I'd like to talk story with you a little bit.
Sure.
At some point, just to go forward, because I understand the concern from a safety standpoint, environmentally, health-wise, et cetera.
Agreed.
But we have the other side that we still have to take care of some of the problems. So be curious. I'm going to support your nomination, and I want to have a further conversation with you.
Thank you. I'd love it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for joining us today. Next up, we have GM 604, Angela Pratt, to the Hawaii Medical Board for a term to expire June 30, 2027. Where am I? Hawaii Medical Board, Mr. Ho, in support.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Vice Chair, Committee. My name is Randy Ho. I'm an Executive Officer for the Hawaii Medical Board, and we stand in support of Dr. Pratt, and thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Thank you for standing on your testimony. We also have written testimony and support from Lori Pi'ikea Tomzek. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have the nominee? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. I'm very grateful to be serving on the board, Hawaii State Medical Board, and the last few months that I've been doing so, it's been very it's helpful for me to learn and to also to help with the credentialing of physicians and to keep pace with what's happening in our country with physician shortage and getting physicians credentialed. So I appreciate the opportunity to serve continually, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Any questions? Senator Richards.
Rural healthcare.
Yes.
Thoughts on that?
Yes.
How do we improve it?
Yes, I mean, we're working really hard, first of all, to get physicians credentialed and getting them done in a timely fashion. You know, as a local girl and been on the chair been a chair in our department for 10 years now, been practicing for 24. We've set up lots of different ways to improve oral health, and one is an initiative that I started to get residents to train on the neighbor islands. I'm a local girl. I'm from Hawai'i. My family's from there. I try to practice on the neighbor islands, and it was very difficult and very challenging. And at that time, I just didn't feel supported on the neighbor islands. So this is part of it. I think that we need to train our medical students and our residents out in the neighbor islands, and we're doing that. And as the university initiatives, we're doing that as well, so that they can get exposure and they won't be afraid. So we're doing all kinds of things in that capacity to get physicians who are, residents who want to stay, and that's part of it. But we also need to move forward with credentialing and also support our process in getting that done. And, it's been very challenging, but I'm happy to be on the Hawaii State Medical Board in that capacity to help things move forward.
Yeah, I'd be curious about your thoughts at some point. Is it a compensation issue? Is it a resource issue? I mean, access to healthcare. I know on Big Island, some of our rural Ka'u and all.
Yes.
It bothers me because they don't, the kupuna, they just don't want to bother people.
Right.
But then they don't get health care.
That's right.
And we got to do better.
Yes. I would really love to have a further discussion with you about this.
Absolutely.
This is very important and very important to me. I think it's a myriad of things. You come out of medical school with a huge debt, and you can't afford to not be compensated. That is one piece of it. I will recognize that, but it's also the support of, the infrastructure. And, when you're in a hospital and you do what I do, which is, you get an emergency that comes in and you just need the resources. And when you don't feel supported, you don't have the ancillary services that you need, or you don't have the specialists that you need, you get really uncomfortable and you want to practice in a big city. So, I know what that's about. So I think that moving it forward it's really multifactorial, but I do think that it's doable. And I'd like to see that done, hopefully soon, because we need it. We definitely I have residents that don't want to don't want to stay here because they just can't afford it and they don't feel supported.
I've been working with the healthcare on Molokai, and that.
Yes, and we had big losses there, Dr. Emily Lully and Bill Thomas. Now we don't have our mentors there that attract our youth and want to have them stay. So it's a huge problem, and I think we can work on it. But I'd love to have a conversation with you about
Thank you,
that
Chair. I
at some
won't
point.
take any more time. Thank you.
I know,
Appreciate your
thank you
time.
very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for joining us. Next, we have GM 612, Michelle Chi, to the Board of Physical Therapy for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Board of Physical Therapy and Support, Ms. Araki.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Rochelle Rocky, Executive Officer for the Board of Physical Therapy. The board stands on its testimony in support. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. We also have written testimony and support from Kyle Watterson of Shriners Children's in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, Ms. Chi, please proceed. Good morning.
Morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. I appreciate the opportunity to serve on the Board of Physical Therapy. This would be my second term, and I've really enjoyed the opportunity to represent the state of Hawaii to uphold the highest ethics for our profession.
Thank you very much. Members, any questions? Okay, thank you for making yourself available this morning. We will move on to GM 613, Raynette Hall, to the State Board of Barbering and Cosmetology for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Rhonda Roldan from the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology and Support.
She's present on Zoom, Chair.
Hi. Good morning, Chair,
Good morning.
Vice Chair. Rhonda Roldan, Executive Officer with the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology. The board would like to stand on our written testimony in support of Ms. Hall. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. We also have written testimony and support from Jody Endo Chai. Do we have the nominee? Okay, any questions for the board? All right, we will move on to the next GM, 614, William Lee, also to the Pest Control Board, for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Ms. Green, in support?
Good morning. Thank you so much. The board stands on its testimony and support. Thank you.
Thank you for standing on your testimony. Hawaii Pest Control Association, in support?
Hawaii Pest Control Association will stand in support as well.
Thank you very much. We also have Garth Yamanaka submitting testimony, written testimony in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Members, any questions? Okay, do we have the nominee?
He's present on Zoom, Chair.
On Zoom, okay.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for your consideration, and I look forward to continuing to serve on the State Pest Control Board.
Okay, great. We can't see you, that's not necessary. Members, any questions for the nominee or the board? Okay, well, thank you for making yourself available in the internets.
Thank you. Sorry, I have bad service.
It's okay.
The video wasn't working.
I believe that you are there.
Thank you.
They're very dedicated.
Well, you know,
wherever they are.
you got faith, right? We'll move to the next nominee, GM 615, Kevin Katayama, to the Board of Professional Engineers, Architects, Surveyors, and Landscape Architects for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Sheena Choi, in support.
Good morning. The board stands on its written testimony and support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also have Ron Iwamoto from Iwamoto Engineering in support. Written testimony. We also have written testimony all in support from Harold Inoue, Reed Mizue, Keith Uemura, and Clayton Pang. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, do we have the nominee? Okay. Would you like to make a statement?
Yeah, just thank you for the opportunity to continue my service.
If you can speak into the mic so that everyone on the internets can hear you.
On the vast internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, just thank you for the opportunity to continue my service on the board. I see progress moving forward for this particular board, and I think we're doing good work to move it forward. And yeah, thank you. Any questions?
Members, questions? I have a question, Mr. This is a reappointment.
Yes.
Right. So in July and then again in September, which was over 5 months ago, there were reports in the media around the situation around Mr. Bill Wong, who was convicted and sentenced for bribery of a county permitting worker. And the stories essentially were around the board's action around his license, which at the time in September had not yet been suspended. I know there's a point where the issue goes from the board to the Regulated Industry Complaint Office. And I'm wondering if you can provide an update on that or just help us understand the situation, because from the public perspective, we don't see what happens on these professional boards. And she gonna come in and save you, but I want you to respond first.
Well,
right.
First, RICO handles all disciplinary action, and so everything about that case is handled by RICO already. There's nothing that our particular board has any involvement with at this time. So everything is handled by RICO.
So you don't.
Sheena has anything else to add, but.
So Sheena Choi, Executive Officer for the board. So Kevin is correct that the process is first that any complaints or investigations will go through RICO, the Regulated Industries Complaints Office, and the board has not heard from RICO yet regarding this case. We can't speak to particular matters, but the general process is that it'll go to RICO first, and the board cannot take any action on any licensees until we first heard from RICO.
So once the RICO process is complete, what action would there be would there be action for the board to take at that point? Is there any discretion that the board has thereafter?
Yeah.
Whether enforcement action is recommended by RICO or taken by RICO or not? What's the process?
Thank you for the question. So RICO will recommend action to the board, and the board can choose to accept or go back and forth on that recommendation. But our laws and rules do give the board the authority to revoke, suspend, or otherwise take action on the licenses or the licensee once we do receive the recommendation from RICO.
Okay, so now a policy question. Because as I'm sure you are aware, and maybe you don't agree or do agree, the reports over the last several years about government corruption, which the legislature has been implicated in certain instances as well, but specifically around the building permitting process and contractors and bribery, it casts a pall over the process and over the industry. And as a member of a board that regulates professionals who have been implicated in these type of situations, I'm just wondering what your feelings are on that, and as a board member going forward, how you might view your role in the process and making sure that we have accountability, at least in that segment of the professional community.
Well, first and foremost, our board regulates or tries to ensure the safety of life and property, because we as engineers and architects, we design and draw according to the building codes and things like that. But we feel in our profession that it's the individual's responsibility to be forthcoming and comply to ethics and things like that. So it's up to other agencies or areas that enforce those rules according to the laws. But us as a board, we try to maintain our high ethical standards. We don't have any issues with ourselves.
Well, I guess if an individual like Mr. Wong were to receive enforcement action from RICO and there's still discretion to your board to determine whether they should proceed in their profession or not, I guess I'm just sort of wondering how you would view the types of scenarios that may come before the board like that, where, you know, there is a lot of latitude provided to individuals to ensure that they're taking their own accountability for their ethical behavior. But ultimately, you know, if there's enforcement action taken, that provides a basis for your board to determine whether they should continue to maintain their license, but you still have discretion to make that decision, right?
Similar like engineers do. I mean, we gather all the facts, and then based on those facts, then we make a determination or decision based on what facts are presented to us. I mean, it's no different from in our profession or what the board hears, or what you guys do. I mean, you gather all the information you can about a particular subject and then make a determination based on those facts that you gather.
Yeah, and that's fair, and that's a reasonable answer. The challenge that we have, and that's the whole point of this process, it's an open process, is that when there are these overarching perceptions of the process, then sometimes there's an expectation by the public for us to make decisions in line with those perceptions. And I think, you know, I'm not here to beat you up or anything like that, but this is a reappointment and this was an issue. And I do think that that does sort of cast a perspective on your board in a way that it doesn't with these other boards, because people haven't read about it in the paper, right?
And I would just like to comment that the foremost concern of the board is the health, safety, and welfare of the public. That's why the board is in place. That's why all the board members serve. And it is unfortunate that these incidents do happen, and the board will take action to the extent that we have the authority to do so. But we would just like to put out the respectful reminder that we also are bound by our processes in the laws and rules. And so the board will take action when we have the authority to, but until it goes through the whole process, we cannot take action, and all licensees are afforded due process. But again, the board does hold the health, safety, and welfare of the public in the highest concern.
Certainly. Members, any follow-up?
Just
Senator Richards.
Yeah, I'm a licensed veterinarian, so I'm regulated by DCCA as well. And I think Senator Keokalole points out that, and I appreciate your comments about the public safety, health, and well-being of the community is the primary charge, and that's why we have licensing and all that. And I think as we all look at our professions, to be sure that we don't have those players in the profession and having a process. But I do agree with your comment about due process, because that is a constitutional thing. We are entitled to due process. But then I think we have to also, once we get through the process, if a decision needs to be made, that should be considered by the board.
Sure.
And I'm not pointing finger at you, because I can point finger at me too. I think we have to be mindful of that. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for making yourself available.
Don't scare them away.
Regret it. Yeah. Okay, go now. Go now. Yeah.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think we are on the last nominee on our agenda, GM 624, Nancy Cassandro, also to the Board of Professional Engineers, Architects, Surveyors, and Landscape Architects for a term to expire June 30, 2028. Let me see. Oh, Nadine Ando in support.
Yes. Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and Senator Richards. Nadine Ando here on behalf of the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs as its director. And we stand on our testimony in support of Ms. Nancy Cassandro to the Board of Professional Engineers, Architects, Surveyors, and Landscape Architects.
Thank you for standing on your testimony. We also have written testimony in support from Leonard Bissell, Raymond Higa, Giselle Grams, Joel Kurokawa, Jason Umemoto, John Itamura, Darlene Itamura, and Shelley McKelvey. Again, all in support. Is there anyone else who would like to testify? Okay, Ms. Cassandro, good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. Thank you for this opportunity to chair remotely. I was not feeling well this morning, so I appreciate the opportunity to come to the internet. Also, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve the public on behalf of the profession of landscape architecture. It's been licensed in the state of Hawaii since 1996, but trees in the landscape have been a long passion of mine. And so I feel very honored to participate, and I'm looking forward to this position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, thank you also for making yourself available.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. So we will recess for decision-making. Recess. Okay, reconvening to make decisions on this 9 a.m. agenda. And so the recommendation is as follows. Without objection, I would like to take all the nominees up in one motion. So I would like to advise and consent in concurrence to Governor's Messages 506, 507, 508, 509, 510, 511, 512, 513, 515, 516, 517, 519, Governor's Message 604, Governor's Message 612, 613, 614, 615, and Governor's Message 624. Any objections? Okay, hearing none, again, the chair's recommendation is to advise and consent to the named nominees. Chair votes aye.
Thank you. Vice Chair also votes aye. Senator McKelvey is excused. Senator Richards.
Aye.
Senator Awa.
Aye.
Okay, all of these governor's messages have been adopted.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much also to the nominees for making yourselves available and serving the public. We are adjourned.